Good afternoon or morning or evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. This is Wild Bill here, coming to you with another grain of salt. I hope it's exciting for you. It is for me, but I'm still talking about the elect, but I have to deal with a question that I know you deal with, because I dealt with it. I mean, I've been thinking about this elect doctrine, or doctrine of the elect, predestination, what have you. It has a few different names, but I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I've never really talked about it. But there are a lot of things, a lot of questions that I would argue with myself about in thinking about this subject line. I don't just swallow the hook, line, and sinker on anything really. I have done that, but I try not to do that anymore. I want to test everything and hold fast that which is good, which is what you should do. And so in thinking about the elect over the years, which I haven't talked about this with anybody but you guys, so don't you feel special. I mean, I've talked to a couple of friends of mine, very dear friends of mine, briefly talked about it with them, just to bounce some ideas off of them, what I've been pondering on for a long time. And so, you know, but the way that I study things out is I argue with myself in the scriptures. I try to poke holes in Everything. I mean to tell you, I want to see if something holds water or not. You know what I'm saying? And that is no different than from what I have done with the elect doctrine. This is why I lean so heavily on it. But I always come back to this right here, that I can still be wrong. Even if it looks like it holds water, and I have tested it for years and years and years, and it looks like it holds water, I still humble myself to be able to admit that I can still be wrong. We know in part. One day we'll fully know, but not today. Maybe that'll help you in your study. Maybe that'll help you in the way that you study. And in thinking about the elect, one of the big questions that comes up is, what about free will? I mean, didn't God grant every living being free will? Choice, you know. And I mean, that's a big one. It really is. And the answer can be difficult. You remember in John 6, I think it was, John 6 John 6 is a long chapter, but I think it's around verse 59 or 60, somewhere right in there. You know, they came to him and they said, this is a difficult or a hard saying. Who can bear it? Or who can stand to hear it? Who can even listen to it? And it was when he was talking about, I am the bread of life, and you got to eat all of me. You know, or my flesh is food indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. And people didn't like to hear that. They didn't want to hear that. Now, I hope you know that was metaphoric. He was not teaching cannibalism. So you know, just that was a freebie there. All this is free. I'm not charging it. I'm not charging for any of it. But this is a hard saying, what I want to talk to you about in the area of, or in regards to, free will. And there's other thoughts about this other than the one that I'm going to share with you that I have looked at over time. And but this is a biggie, and I hope this kind of puts it to rest for you, because this pretty much, this idea, this thought that is in the scripture, that is prevalent, prolific, I mean, it's everywhere, about free will or your choice. This is a hard saying. And like I said, it's going to take me a while to get through it. But first of all, full joy is the purpose of all the commands of God. Full joy. And that is the product of obedience. According to the scripture, you can't have full joy unless you have full obedience. Where do you find that at? Well, it's all through there. But in particular, in John 15, verse 11, he said, "These things I have spoken to you, that my joy would be in you, and that your joy would be made full." Now, you have to go back and read the verses before that, and this is after the Last Supper, and he's giving them a bunch of things like commands, addressing some things that he wants them to know, what's going to happen from here forward. But then he says something like, if you keep my commands, after that, or before that, he said, if you keep my commands, or my commandments, you will be in my love. And if you're looking for joy apart from obedience, according to Jesus, you ain't gonna find it unless you're in full obedience to him. We're going to continue this. This is a big subject, and I hope you can bear with me. But take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, and remember the widows, the orphans, and the poor.